Okay, welcome to another Lightning Strikes Twice. I always stutter three times, but it is a Lightning Strikes Twice. And we have 5 minutes apiece, one topic apiece, and take it away, Mr. Eric.
Okay, so mine, I suppose, would be sort of in the politics realm, I guess you could say. It could be philosophy too. So here's the question. Does any government, or for that matter, any group of governments on Earth, have the authority to create any rules about space or what people do there? Like let's say not just because obviously you know just outside in the orbiting Earth, obviously that makes sense. But let's say we made a moon colony. Does anybody on Earth have any, or should they have any kind of say?
Um, I mean, like, if we're going to a planet that doesn't already have an alien species on it, then I guess going there we would be the ones that would be like making decisions as how to go forward with the society there. But as far as the question of like governments, it should just be Earth, not like whichever country gets there first, because like we need to like step outside that box
Mhm.
when we're in space and think about things as a planet rather than a collection of 70 countries or 300 countries or what, however many
Yeah.
freaking lines there are on the map. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I think. Like we
I mean,
definitely need to like think about what we're doing, but
sure.
number one, it should be a clean slate. Two, it should be just Earth, and that's it. Everything else, like, I mean, that's my drafting of the Constitution for a new planet.
I think, yeah, I do tend to agree, and I think even if there aren't any like, if there isn't like space law or whatever, the humans that go to say another planet or moon or whatever will probably bring with them kind of the philosophy of wherever they came from, and maybe attempt to mess with like improve on ideas like, oh wait a minute, let's do it this way so that that doesn't happen because that sucked. Or maybe like, oh, there's an opportunity to do something we couldn't do on Earth. um or perhaps obviously the circumstances are different, so you can't say we can't apply the rules that make sense here to say like Mars or Venus or something, because that's a whole different environment. um but
Yeah,
they will
I mean,
definitely
yeah,
try. I can tell you that like, let's say the US sends people from the US to colonize something, they're definitely going to want to be like, yeah, it's going to be US law here on Mars. Like, oh,
well, and I would extend the same um, restrictions on the government to the church, like
yeah.
because all these religions, the zealots among them, want their particular religion's laws to be applicable to everybody else, and that's super not cool.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Like governments are one thing because they're actually like they're designed to do that thing, so I'll give them a little leeway on having
Well,
some authority in that, but a religion isn't made to govern people
and
in
nobody's
that.
voting in that or making, public
Right, exactly.
decisions. Well, my point is basically like, how can any government claim authority over a place that they don't control, right? A new place that they haven't been in already. Like, when the US was created, there were colonies, and we decided, okay, well, it kept moving obviously, but I mean, we're not like going and saying, well, US law should apply to Russia or something like that. And so if you have this new place that isn't your domain, how can you possibly claim that as your domain? And if you can't, then you don't have any say over what happens there. If I get a group of people together from all over the world, right, just a bunch of space people, and we're all engineers, and we build our own spaceship, and no one's ever been to Mars yet. and we go to Mars and or say Venus, that would be my destination, and we colonize it and start building a civilization on Venus. Well, there's no power. Nobody on Earth has any kind of say over what we do there.
Right.
There's no way they can claim that. It's a bunch of people from all over the place that had no official capacity, any kind of connection to government, other than being a citizen, I guess.
Well,
But that
you
doesn't.
know the thing they would hold over your head is like, we're the ones who paid to get you where you are there.
Of course, yeah.
You know,
Okay, well,
we have to make the rules. That's how all these science fiction movies go, where like there's some big corporation that funds this research expedition, and then you get there and you find out that the super rich billionaire had some evil plan, and he's like, I paid for this, so you have to do my evil plan. And
mm-hmm.
yeah,
Well, that everybody always, yeah, that's kind of the story all the
yeah.
time. And I mean,
Even in real life, that's kind of a story.
that's what I was going to say. It's not,
Yeah.
that's time. It's not limited to science fiction stories.
Right.
Okay,
Well,
well, it's your turn.
in sort of keeping with that theme
Weird how
uh,
that works out.
of political philosophy, um, do you think free speech is real?
Ooh, man, sort of. I guess. Well, you are obviously free to say anything you want to say. That there isn't a way yet. I'm sure people would love to find a way, but you can say whatever you want, but the consequences obviously are going to vary depending on what it is you say, and
Right.
where you say it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
wouldn't say, yeah, free speech. It would require active maintenance of our culture to make sure that we have proper free speech where people are free to think and express themselves in any way. Um, but that's tough because even if there's no legal consequences, right, for certain things, if you say certain things in certain countries, you could be arrested or put
Yeah.
to death. Um, and yeah,
But like at the same time, like if anybody could say anything they wanted with no consequence whatsoever, somebody could just walk around being like, what you should be doing for your health is drinking hydrogen peroxide. It's straight, like 8 glasses a day. Like,
mm-hmm.
and people just go around doing that and dropping dead. And, like, oh, well, they shouldn't have listened to me without doing their own research.
Well,
Well, you
that's
can't just,
no, that's true, and I guess that does kind of make it a little murky in that regard. Well, one of the things it's like, okay, even if there's no legal consequences for saying a thing, as there could be in some countries, there are social consequences. If you, I don't know, walk around using the N word and or taunting people or making fun of the way somebody looks or something like that, well, yeah, you're technically free to say that, but should you? There will be consequences, even if it means you're just never, no one will ever talk to you ever again. You're going to be shunned by your society. That could happen. So obviously, it's one of those cases of like, yes, you have the capability to do it. You could do it, but should you? And typically the answer is no for certain things. And so restraint, but that's what I'm saying. Like it would come out of society.
Mhm.
And not from law or anything. It shouldn't come from law because, whoa, the consequences there. Ugh.
Yeah, but that's what makes me wonder if it's real. Like like we have this concept of being allowed to say whatever we want to say, whatever's on our mind. But like because of those social consequences that exist without any kind of governance whatsoever,
Mm-hmm.
is there actually a freedom to do so? Because like, hmm, I mean,
Well, okay,
that's the philosophical
it is.
question.
I agree. It is sort of it's difficult to wrap your head around. I guess if it were a freedom, it would mean that you still have the capacity to do it, right? Like there is no physical restraint keeping you from like walking around in public spouting the N word at people. Like you can do it, but you probably don't want to. It's like I have guns. I could, if I, wanted to run around and start shooting at people, but I don't do that because, well, that's first off dumb, totally violates my entire philosophy.
Yeah.
Uh, and doubly, there are obvious consequences and coming from a bunch of different angles. Um, so, yeah, what I guess the question, oh man, this is almost a whole topic for like a full episode because it's like, what is freedom?
Right. Well, then now I'm also thinking about like free will. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of the same argument, right? Like you definitely can make all your decisions for yourself, but the decisions will also have consequences. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, but if you don't call that free will, um, then I don't know, like maybe it's not logical to say so, but that kind of implies that there is some sort of plan to it, right?
Like a
Because
deterministic model, right?
yeah, which doesn't make sense so much either.
It kind of does, but yeah. Ooh, man,
I mean, from a logic
that's
standpoint.
true. Yeah. Oh, well, that's time. That dude, man, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's really deep because like all you have to do is go another layer down and ask what is freedom, and now you're opening a whole nother can of worms,
I think we
philosophical worms.
I think we have an episode on that.
Maybe we do. I don't know. We have so many
Probably up
episodes.
there in that corner there,
Mm-hmm.
little eye there. If you click on that,
Mm-hmm. And if we don't have one, then we'll probably do one.
I'm pretty sure we do.
Yeah, I
Well,
think so.
why don't we let the people go find that episode because
Yep.
they're itching to see what we had to say about freedom.
And along that journey, you'll probably find all kinds of interesting videos that we've done, and check those out too. Uh, Go through our back catalog and find some nuggets of wisdom or insanity or whatever you want to call it.
Like, share, subscribe. Caution: taking in too much kitchen sink microscopy may cause your mind to expand.